What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to KangBrosTV. Liverpool 3, Newcastle 1. I thought it was going to be easy even before going into this game. I thought Liverpool were going to have a clean sheet. I thought it would be like 4-0. That was my prediction. When they first scored, I was like, hold on a minute. But then I still believe that Liverpool were going to carry on to win that game. I guess the perfect part to start is that first goal. Now, That was a madness. That goal was a sick finish.
So, funnily enough, we both did our predictions, and I did actually say 3-1 before the game started, because I did think Newcastle would score, and that's not necessarily because I think Newcastle are decent or anything like that. It's more I just think we just don't seem the same at the back. Even if we're winning, there always seems to be one at the other end, and I just feel we're not as secure as we have been. But not saying it's a crisis, but just an observation. When I saw the first goal. And I did say I'd have to see it back because when I first saw it, I actually thought to myself, from my angle, that it looked like Alisson. I felt Alisson would have got something on it. That's what I first thought, initial reaction. And then I watched it back and I was like, no, never been.
Thing is, the only thing I would say is that I personally believe that Trent could have done more. The way he could have shaped the player to go out to wide. So I didn't see how we let him come back in and make that shot. Just show him the line. So I know it's easier said than done from my perspective, but I think that's what he could have done.
I just think that sometimes you've got to look at it and you think, hats off, because he's done something. He's done a trick there, and he's made himself that room, and he's taken a shot and he's stuck it in the top bins. And I know you always say, whenever we've played football or whenever anyone plays football together, you always say, well, if he does that and takes in the top bins, in fair play. And he's chopped it and stuck it in the top bins. So that's why half of me is like, well, yeah, you could say hindsight's a beautiful thing. Trent, be closer, show him one way. When he goes that way, get your body in the way. But even when I watched it, I thought, he's done well. I thought the geezer done well. He's shifted it. He's made himself that's a bit of space, and he's taken a shot and he's going in the top bins. I thought Newcastle started really well. I actually thought they started really well. I thought Joel Linton was in the game. Atsu was playing really well. And that, what's his name? The South American lad. He looked tricky. He megged, Robertson. I thought they started well. But I think it was one of those things that over a period of time, sustained pressure, Liverpool would get a breakthrough. And when they did get the breakthrough, then it was relentless. I thought it was just relentless. And we'll go into it. But from my perspective, I thought Newcastle started well, but we grew into the game really well.
We touched on this earlier, right? Liverpool, for me now, are a different beast. They're a completely different beast. I think it's hard for some Liverpool fans to actually grasp because of what we've been through as fans. But Liverpool now, I think you touched on it once the Burnley game because we had that whole sort of debate and argument about are Burnley dropping or is it Liverpool getting better and better? And Liverpool now is like, this wasn't in gear. What was it? What gear would you think Liverpool were in just to get this game done?
I think it's weird because when you see teams hit like fifth gear and it's all everything's immaculate, perfect. It doesn't have to be like that. But if you think about it, even if a car hits fifth gear and it's like maxes out at fifth gear, it can't do that over a sustained period of time. But at the moment, we seem to be like nailing third and fourth. Like we're literally in fourth. So there is another gear if you need to hit that gear. But at the moment, it's enough to do things in third and fourth gear. Like the one thing I would say is there was a few things that I was noticing was that we've taken too long on the ball. Initially, and that suited Newcastle. They had 11 men behind the ball, and it suited them. But as soon as we upped the pace, and also when Mane went from being through the centre out wide, I thought that changed everything as well. I don't like that little talk. If Oriega's going to play him through the middle. Yeah, he's centre forward, and then play those two. Don't mess with those two. They're good. They got that area on lock. So I won't tinker with it too much. The two things I realised when I watched this game was that Wijnaldum is an unsung hero for us. Some of the stuff that he does off the ball, the way that he gets into awkward spaces and wins the ball back.
And shields the ball, and how he spins. And even his gas, ridiculous. Some of the way he's
and Firmino. Firmino, before, when like I said, and I was the first one to do it, I was making jokes. I was like, oh, we signed a dud. But when you actually watch how he goes about his business, he needed to acclimatise, which fair play to the manager for doing that. But once he's hit that, now you can't imagine being in a game without him.
Mm-hmm. And I think what you touched about the gears, it's just, like you said, consistency now is ridiculous. And I think it's hard for some Liverpool fans to grasp. And I hope the new generation of Liverpool fans don't start getting like arrogant and big-headed like sort of the Man United fans mostly are. Is that I think we need to be humble in what we do and humble the way we go about our business. I think the consistency now is there, and it's unbelievable to see how many times that we keep at that level, grind out the results. Even we go 1-0 down, no panic, we just get around our business. The thing is, the blessing in disguise was Bobby Firmino.
Oh, He's too much. He's too much.
And it's now, everyone's seen it now. You know,
We've been saying this.
Liverpool fans who know about football.
Pull up a video of ours from 2 seasons ago. We've been saying it from then. The guy's different gravy. And now people are starting to say it's like a bandwagon thing. Oh yeah, because a few pundits are saying it. Liverpool fans have been saying this for a long time. He makes us tick. When he's not on the pitch, you can tell. When he's on the pitch, all of a sudden, straight away, there was something different. I said this to you as well. I goes, it was watching it, and as you do, I'm sure everyone who plays football, would think, okay, what would I do in this situation? So being a centre half or like a left back or centre half that I play as a centre half, I'm thinking, right, okay, what would I do in this situation when I watch him take the ball in an area where I think, okay, well I'll actually go out to him there, because I think in that position there, if he turns, we're in trouble. So I'm thinking I'd go out to him, but his clarity, his execution and the clarity in his thought. He knows what he wants to do. He scans. He lives life. He's always scanning. As soon as he realizes that person hasn't come, boom, he's turned and he's facing you up, and you're thinking, oh shit, and there's rabbit in headlights. But then if you go with him, the way he the little round the corners, so he's always asking questions of the defense, and if you actually. People obviously see this all the time, but the way that the wingers they pick up that pocket that he leaves, they just literally fly into it, and they'll just trust him to put the little flicker around the corner. So then as a fullback, so you think as a centre half who's gone out and he's vacated that gap, so the fullback automatically will come in. Then all of a sudden you've got Trent on the outside. So when you actually watch it, it's such a well-oiled machine, and it's when you see it like that and you think now they've actually got the belief that they are good. Before it was like, Liverpool, they're riding this wave. Now it's like, right, we finished second in the league. We've competed in the Champions League final the year before. We've won the Champions League and finished second, and we were in the top 4. So all of a sudden, it's like, well, hold on a minute. They start believing that, hold on, we had 2 Golden Boot winners last year. So the guys were joint at the top. We had a guy that's went on to go and win the Copa America. We've also got players in this team who have been part of winning sides. All of a sudden, it's like, well, hold on a minute. We are winners. And now we're starting to behave like that. And now you're almost getting that swag and that little bit of arrogance to say, well, hold on. We are going to slap teams. And you can see that in the performance. But that's all hard work and that's earned. So that's why I'm looking at it and thinking, as opposition teams come in Anfield, you probably watch it and think, fuck.
But with Bobby, right, for me, it's not even just people say he's a really good false 9. He can have a role made for himself. The shit that he does, because a false 9 doesn't do what he does defensively. Right, and what he offers that when he pulls back to his pockets, and then even when he goes and attacking, and with the 1-2s that he did with Salah, like I said, he can have a whole brand new position made for himself, like Makelele did. Yeah. Because he's not just a false number 9.
He's not a false 9. He's not a 9. He's not a 10. He combines all those aspects. He combines the best of those aspects of those roles, and that's what you look at and think, well, he does stuff that people don't want to do. So he'll go and smash somebody because there's an opportunity. He presses the back 4. He don't just press centre halves. He's going and hassling the right back. The keeper can't settle. So yeah, the guy's a complete player, and for me, it's going to be like you say. In the coming end of the season, you start thinking which one's going to get the bid. Someone's going to break the bank for one of them. I'm telling you. And Mane, oh God, Lordy Lord. Ooh.
This is what I mean about Mane, right? Not just Mane, the whole front 3. It's teams now, they can't afford to make any type of mistake with Liverpool in those areas. That goal, he had minimal amount of room to get that shot off, to get that touch, to be as immaculate as it was, and then top bins. To beat the first goal that Newcastle scored, I thought was a great screamer, and then Mane to do that. Mane is on complete fire. Complete fire. And he's on it. And the thing with that, people say who's the best out of the 3, and Mane, granted, he's up there amongst the top 3. I couldn't pick. Yeah.
So funnily enough, we had this conversation, right? And I asked a few people this over the weekend as well. I heard on TalkSport Darren Goff asking somebody, so would Raheem Sterling get into Liverpool's front 3, right? And automatically my mind was, well, fucking course. I don't know about you, but automatically I'm like, well,
not for me.
But but as an individual, you think, well, yeah, no, of course. Well, you'd make room for him. You'd probably, what would you drop Firmino into a midfield 3? Maybe put Salah through the middle and bring him. In my mind, I'd have him obviously all day of the week, but I don't know where I'd play him. I don't think you can disrupt that front 3 because what the connection that they have, a bit like Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. You know what that dynamic. You don't want to upset that because it's like, well, just go and do what you got to do because you will score, you will do your thing. But then all of a sudden you'll be like, well, that's all right. We can get rid of Neymar and we'll get somebody else in to do the job. It's not as easy as that because the chemistry and the dynamic.
That's exactly it. When you asked my question just now, I immediately thought no. It's because of the chemistry and the dynamic. It's not because of the individual ability. Of course not. It's just the chemistry between the 3, and that's what makes Liverpool tick.
And that's why it's like you look at it and you think, okay, well, would Kane get in your team as number 9? Well, then you're like, right, well, that'll be at the expense of Bobby, so no. But then it's like, well, he's broken records for goals. Aguero, where Aguero would have to, he's one of the all-time great strikers of the Premier League. You'd have to play him in your team. But then I'm like, he won't do what Bobby does. Obviously he gets goals, but as a dynamic, you've got 2 guys around you scoring 30 plus. So do you need it? So it's a weird dynamic, and they won the European Cup, so you don't. Yeah,
because people do those debates. I've seen it even to the build-up for the North London derby. Where people were saying, what team would you pick out of the 2 out of Tottenham and Arsenal? What would be the 11? And you can't just do that by looking at individuals. So
it's chemistry.
Exactly.
It's the chemistry. So and like I said, watching it when you see them up close and personal, and you see the way they when they click. Salah, if you don't go and press him, he'll turn you. If you go too tight, he will turn you. If you let him turn and run at you, then you're fucked.
Also, I don't know if anyone else clocked this, or it's just me, but did anyone realise, how Salah was suddenly passing a lot more in this game? There were certain things that Salah normally in situations you think, oh, Salah will pop a shot off here, he'll run for. He wasn't doing that. He was actually, so whatever happened last week, the week it was that between Salah and Mane, he actually obviously took it on board, because I thought there were certain things that he did in there. I was thinking Salah in those situations would have done differently, which I'm glad.
Yeah, good. And you need that.
And he scored.
The other thing I picked up on, which I thought was it made me laugh. I think it made me laugh throughout the whole game. Was Wijnaldum was actually buoying off Shelvey, like differently buoying him off. Like Shelvey was trying to foul him off the ball, trying to block him, trying to hit, because he was in his head. He's like, I can't keep up with this, bro. Right, and he was fully buoying him off, and it was so funny. And when he was at Liverpool, we always thought Shelvey, there's a player in there somewhere, and there is. He's got techers, so don't get me wrong. But the way that mate was buoying him up, it was actually laughable.
Was that more to do, like off the ball instances?
Because
it wasn't that evident on watching on TV. You was at Anfield, so I don't know. Was it different?
He was running him basically. He was making him run into places that he didn't want to. When he would go and nick the ball and pass, then Shelvey would be trying to foul him afterwards. And it was the way he was just like literally just jogging off, and it's like, this guy can't get near him. And it was so funny to watch. The other thing that I picked up on, and we disagreed on this, but I thought Ox's performance was stinking. From what I could see, he was trying too hard, trying too many different things, and he was stinking. He was stinking the place out.
For me, it was refreshing to see Ox on, and the things that he was trying to do is what I've been screaming out for a midfielder to do in those areas. So I was happy that he was taking long shots. It was the first time I'd seen someone shoot outside the penalty box for Liverpool for I don't know how long. And I'm talking about midfielder. I'm not talking about Trent. I'm not talking about defenders taking a wild shot. This is the first time I've seen a midfielder do a long shot since a long time. So, there was times he was getting the ball, spinning and running directly. Now, for me, that's what I want to see from the midfield area, and that's why I was happy to see him on and trying those things rather than Henderson doing what he does. And that's why I actually liked the performance. He was he was taking chances.
And I think
for you,
fine, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so context then is context in it, I guess, because you're thinking, all right, he was trying it, but then I'm thinking in the context, if it was against City and he was trying that and kept getting dispossessed, you'd be fuming.
Yeah.
So it's context, and I guess that's the whole point of getting him up to speed.
In this game against Newcastle,
but he was getting dispossessed too frequently for my liking.
I wouldn't say I definitely noticed it, but I wouldn't say it was too frequently. And I think it was refreshing to see they use this game. It was probably the right game coming into the Champions League. I think it was good to bring on Oxford in this game, and I liked him to taking the chances. That's why I disagreed with what you were saying there.
Yeah,
but
I'd be interested to see what people think, but I was not having him. I'm like, if you could see his body language half time, he was kicking the turf when he's coming off. When he got subbed, he was not happy because I think he knew that his performance was not at the level it could be, especially with Shaq. Knocking on the door. I just felt like that was an opportunity for him to actually do something, and I actually thought he stunk the place out. But look, it is what it is. Big Verge. It's actually a joke, yeah. The way when he came running back and he plucked Joe Linton, yeah. Oh my god,
the whole stadium went fucking nuts.
Because again, Joe Linton was giving him a torrid time off the. You know the headers in that he was going in late. He kept clipping him late, and you could see Virgil was getting vexed when he had the opportunity. For you know what, I'm actually going to fully pluck this guy, and fair play he did. But on the whole, we miss Alisson. We do miss him because I think there is an air of like nervousness around Adrian, but what can you do? That's the whole point of a backup. You need him to be in and doing a job, and so far we're winning.
But the thing is, the point that you made right at the beginning of the video was that the defence definitely does not look as strong as it did. And maybe it's because Alisson's not there, but there were some half chances that Newcastle did have where the ball came in, and I think it was Genie or Trent sleeping with someone coming from the back post.
Beginning of the first half.
Yeah.
I was watching it unfold. It started off at the front where Trent lost the ball and did not bust a gut to get back because he thought Ox is there. Ox is then standing matey up and just commits right? And you're thinking, I was screaming, can't hear me, but I was like, don't commit. Commits, boom, mate, he's gone in. Yeah. And I'm just like, he's got two square, he's not showing him one way, and he's just got, like, I know he's a midfielder, and you normally think there is people behind you, but you know that he's up there, and you're covering him, so that's your job. So that's what I'm saying, there's little things like that where...
No, but the thing is, the bigger teams will punish you. If you play against Man City, if Man U can play against Man City or something like that, they will.
Bernardo Silva in that situation there is going to score. Yeah. Period.
And this is why I'm very intrigued to see how we get on with this Chelsea. Chelsea are flying in terms of confidence. I think we'll do well against Chelsea, but there will be chances where these other teams come, the likes of Tottenham, the likes of Son and Kane, all these guys, they're going to have these chances. So I want to see how Liverpool get on there, because at the moment it's been all smooth sailing and there's been few chances, half chances, and Newcastle didn't take them. It could have been a completely different game if it was someone big, and then the pressure could be on. Because now we need to capitalise on the fact that Man City have just lost, and Laporte is missing for a good amount of time, and before they get to January, we know what Man City are going to do. They're just going to be going like this. Whichever centre back they want, it's just going to be like this. They're going to bring it in. So
the folded notes at the end as well. They folded that, so that's another 100k.
Boom. So what Liverpool, they need to capitalise in that sort of period.
Who was your man of the match?
Bobby, man. Like when he came on, it was just ridiculous how the first thing he did was get an assist, and then the whole game turned around. And it was just literally replay, highlight after highlight, and everyone's speaking about Bobby. So I think I can't look too far from Bobby, even though there was some proper solid performances from about 3-4 players for Liverpool. But I'm gonna have to get to Bobby. The fact that he came on, he wasn't even starting, and then he just literally just turned the game on its head.
Bobby or Mane for me. Mane was was constant, just causing absolute havoc from the get go. Next game, Napoli. So that'll be
let's not be a stinker like last time.
Yeah, let's hope
not. Oh my god, that's one of the worst games I've seen.
So we'll see how we go with that one, and then and then obviously we'll see you on the reaction to that one, and then we'll build up to the big one on the weekend as well.
So don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and comment.
Peace.